Dan, thanks for joining me for what will probably go terribly, but is Drunk Uno.
Challenge accepted.
Or Druno, I guess. It was originally going to be something where I made you do a shot, then asked you a question and call it Not Ones, but I felt that was a bit on the nose if Derek Lewis is on Hot Ones tomorrow. So with Uno, this is basically Uno, but we're drinking in it. We basically take 7 cards each. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3. And then you basically have to match that with either the number or colour. Is it coming back to you now? And if you put down a +2 or a +4, the other person has to pick up the cards and do a shot of course, sponsored Post. Proper 12 Irish whiskey. Proper 12.
We'll give it a shot.
Yeah. So I'll let you go first because you're the guest.
I'm starting well.
Fucking cunt.
It's not starting well, boy. Yeah.
Fucking hell.
Might backfire a bit.
Didn't we say it was like, we'll only do a couple before filming, yeah? Right, is it my go now?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay, you do one as well, then you go. Good start. So yeah, anyway, we're meant to be doing an interview while we're at this as well. So,
We'll get there, eh?
yeah, so I feel like this whole fight and camp and everything has been about you guys as a team. So I'm kind of curious. Would you rather win a fight yourself or have one of your teammates win a title fight?
Ooh. Yeah, probably when a teammate win a title.
Yeah.
Probably a teammate win a title. Like, that's... that for us is, like... That's everything.
Yeah.
Like, when Israel won his title, he unified the title. He had the interim title. And then he won the title from Robert Whittaker. That was it, man. Like, we just, like, celebrate our wins, like... Not that much, but then when he won that title, it just made it so real because that's what we've chased as a team all along. Like whenever we win, it always like falls back to the team and goes back to the team just because it's a very tight knit unit.
Do you take your own losses worse or do you take teammates' losses worse? Because that's a bit more personal, right? Like if you lose, it's...
Yeah, if someone had to go through adversity or if someone had to deal with like a terrible situation, I would prefer it to be me.
Yeah.
I would prefer it to be me. Just because I know I've been there before and I know how tough I am. Like I know, like not beat my own drum, but I know like emotionally, like I'm quite a strong person and I can get back from it. I can pull myself back from it. Yeah, I never get more stressed than watching my teammates fight or watching my students fight. Like that to me, it's because it's out of your control. Like you're sitting back, you've seen them do the work and stuff, but you really have no impact on the outcome. Whereas if I'm fighting, like I have control of the situation, or I have control of how I deal with the situation. So I'd say it's a lot easier. It's a lot easier getting out there and fighting, whether that be a win or a loss, than seeing a teammate go through that.
Off the back of that, by the way, I'm picking the colour red, so you can put any red card down.
I don't have a red.
Well, then you have to pick up a card. The idea is to get to one card and shout Uno and then put it down. Those are the rules, by the way.
It's a long way off.
Yeah. Can you still put down a red or no?
Do I have to keep picking?
Yeah, until you can't get a red, yeah. Until you get a red. Just keep it going.
There you go.
There you go. So on the back of that, how helpful is a cornerman? Like you said, you watch the work, but realistically, how much can a cornerman do in those 60 seconds?
A lot. Like that person. Well, it depends. Like there's a lot of stuff that goes on behind the scenes that you as the fighter is not like privy to or exposed to. Like there's a lot of study, and I know that like Eugene and all of my other coaches, like Twist, Mike, Andre, Dougie, like they're like all in a group together, and like the amount of information that's like processed in that group without the fighter being privy to it. Like the fighter will then get like one drill or one sentence out of a discussion that might have taken a week and 10,000 words. Yeah. Like there's so much back and forth. So I would say, massive. Like if that person's been there the whole camp, like they're something as simple as like one like one thing they say or one call they make or one warm-up drill that they kind of put you through that could definitely like change the course of a fight.
You and Alex both won this fight card. I'm sure the Raiders game was fun, but tell me the most crazy and insane post-fight winning celebration party you've ever had or been a part of. By the way, skipping that. And I still have to keep playing.
There you go. There we go.
There we go. That was 3. Either red or a 3. But yeah, craziest party post-fight.
I'd say Israel's one was pretty cool, but we never get like too crazy because it's like the night. It's like the night of the fight.
Yeah.
You never go like too wild.
You're tired, I assume.
Yeah, too wild like then and there. Even though we like go out as a team and celebrate and things like that, I'm sure if it gets crazy, it'll be like a day or two after that. But me, 2 beers, church in the morning.
Yeah, funny. I wanted to ask you something. So I spoke to Izzy once, and I said, would Dan's life be better if it wasn't Dan the hangman hooker, but Dan the hungman hooker? And he said, after the Diakese fight, and then he stopped and said, I can't tell you that. What was he going to say?
I have no idea about that. I'd called it by 7 p.m. After that fight, called it by 7 p.m. I got to church in the morning.
Yeah. Sang a few hymns.
Yeah, sang a few hymns and got straight on the plane. I got no idea what he's talking about.
He said to me, he was like, oh, you guys see Dan. He's like, we see Dan. He was like, you don't know him when he's had a few beers.
Yeah.
But then he also said your life wouldn't be that much different. So I said, well, congratulations to you. Clearly the hung man it is.
Well, cheers to that, eh?
Yeah, cheers, yeah. Great content. Fucking So with you flying home on Saturday, and with all this like travel stuff, are you going to be able to fight Islam if they offer it to you?
I'm still going. Now I'm going to have 50 cards. This is not going well. Mate, this is not going well.
You shuffled.
Yeah, well, obviously didn't do a very good job because
usually, I mean, to be fair, you could play this with like 7 people. There's only 2 of us. I literally didn't have a fucking clue what we were going to do. There you go, thank you. But yeah, go on. So yeah, do you reckon would you take that fight? Can you even take that fight? Would the missus say, what the fuck do you think you're doing?
So, what's that, 5 weeks or 4.5 weeks out now?
October 30th.
So I'm in like Las Vegas till Saturday. I fly back to New Zealand Saturday. And then I do my 14-day quarantine.
Oh, I forgot about the quarantine.
Yeah. So I've got a 14-day quarantine when I arrive back to New Zealand, so 2 weeks, and like that's real limited. So they limit that to like a half-hour exercise a day in like a courtyard. So then after that 14 weeks, then I get out, and then
you still can't train with other people.
Yeah, New Zealand's still locked down, so we're still in lockdown in New Zealand. So I would get out of lockdown, do the same thing I've been doing for this camp, which is training in my garage for 1 week, and then you'd fly off for like 5 weeks. So I feel like that's stacking the deck.
A little bit.
Yeah, that's stacking the deck. Especially after
he's a specialist as well, right? And you know, you've been working by yourself, like.
And I've just like, like I've done most like post-fight interviews and stuff, and I've been like real honest, and I've told everyone that I haven't wrestled anyone in a month.
Yeah.
So then times that by 2 and to go into the fight with him knowing that I haven't wrestled in 2 months.
Well, I hope you feel comfortable killing Tony Ferguson, because that's who they're going to turn to now. God damn you, Dan. No, I don't actually know if they're going for Tony. I think I saw. Ali
I don't think he's going to take that fight. And then
he'd be silly too.
Well, then if you're like looking at it from my position, like RDA's injured, Benil's not going to take that fight. Tony's not going to take that fight. He's not going to fight anyone lower than me.
Yeah.
Then I'm happy to fight him. Like, don't get me wrong. Like,
I don't think anyone's going to question your willingness to fight.
I would love to fight Islam Makhachev, but I don't feel like that fight's going to go anywhere. I don't feel like if I don't take that fight October 30, then why can't I fight him in December?
Yeah.
Why can't I fight him in January when I've like actually trained for the fight? Because I know I'm the only guy that's going to take that fight. Like RDA is like stepped up to the plate, but besides me and RDA, no one else is No one else is breaking their back to take that fight. So even if I don't fight him October 30, I'm happy to fight him. Who's got it? No one has like a good argument to not. Yeah. You know, you should take that fight. You should not train for 2 months, and you should go into that fight.
I thought if you could fly direct from here into a training camp, maybe, but I completely forgot about the 2 weeks.
Oh, mate, quarantine. Don't get me wrong. If I could leave Saturday, get back to New Zealand, train for 3 weeks, get on a plane to Abu Dhabi with my coaches and go and fight. Oh. I would be all over it. So if anyone's got a problem, it's with the New Zealand government.
Yeah,
that's like
that seems to be a theme of the week. To be honest,
yeah, like man, you're sick of like beating the same old drum, if you know what I mean. Mm-hmm. But like coming over here, doing like a 20,000 person arena, then the next day going to like a 70, like then going to a nightclub with maybe 10,000 people in the nightclub. Then going to a 70,000 seater stadium on Sunday, like it's just, the rest you can see like the rest of the world is they're over the hump. They're opening back up, so it's it's tough.
Have you ever noticed, as I have, and I'm sure many others have, that when someone with your accent says it sounds like an American rapper about to start a song?
When I was I remember when I was early in my career, and I would come over here and I would do interviews. I would try to speak really clearly. Yeah. Like people would ask me a question, I'd be like, yes. So
rather,
I would like to do. Like I would go out of my way to speak clearly so they would understand, and then I just hit the wall, and I was just like, I'm sick of speaking like this. Yeah. I'm sick of speaking like this. I'm just gonna speak like myself.
A 1 or a yellow, by the way. I'm sure you have enough in there.
I've got plenty of yellows.
Okay. Yeah.
Can I put more than one yellow?
If you can put... No, you can put more than one though. So if you have like a red one and a blue one, you can put them both down at the same time. Forgot about that. To be honest, like, since I moved over here, people keep thinking I'm Australian. I think it's... I don't know why.
They were saying it to Frank because he was like out with... he was like out with us. They keep assuming he's... They keep assuming he's Australian.
Oh, I remember now. So if you have two of the same number, but it's in the same colour, so like I'm about to do, 2 5s in yellow.
Oh, well, take me back then. I've got another 6 here.
Oh, go on, I'll allow it. If you, I think they just hear the word mate, and they're like, Australian, right?
It must be.
Yeah.
Must be.
Yeah. Even though we invented the fucking language. Tell you what, here's a random question for you. When you push the shopping trolley back to your car, or cart for your Americans, do you put it back where it's designated to go, or do you just leave it and let someone else?
I leave it.
You are scum.
Yeah.
That is the biggest test of a person's ethics, and you fail.
You reckon?
Mate, like it's the one task you have to do. It's completely selfless, and you're out here just leaving.
It's a selfless task, but I feel like there's a guy.
You're keeping him employed. Is this your
need a job?
Yeah,
he needs a job.
Okay,
if you know what I mean.
When
so if everyone puts that back, that bloke doesn't need a job.
You're right. You are a hero.
He can't support his family. You know what I mean?
Do you?
I don't just leave it like rolling down the hill into cars. You know what I mean? I'll like jam it in a curb.
Okay.
Like put it on its side or something, so it's not going to
more effort than actually just Do you? When you go to the shop, do you go to the counter with the people, or do you go to the self checkout?
Self checkout.
Yeah, me too. Every time.
Self checkout.
I don't want to talk to these people.
That's how you get the freebies.
Oh, I see. Okay. Yeah. So ideally, do you even know when you're next able to fight? Like, can you?
Oh yeah, like it's that's the thing. I have fights on the horizon, right?
Yeah.
Like Israel's gonna fight
reportedly maybe in January.
Yeah. So we're pretty much in October, November, December.
Yeah.
3 months and then fight again.
You're trying
so
to get
it's not like. Yeah, it's not like there's a fight that's like super far out of reach. It's not like that was my next go-to after this fight, right? But I just wanted something between now and then to then sit out. I would have had to sit out for more than a year.
It's kind of crazy, right? Because it's your paycheck, but it's also, this is like an entertainment sport, isn't it? Where it's all built on momentum, and then you just had obviously the setback in Abu Dhabi, which you took really well and were super thrilled about. I remember at the time you were really happy with that one. But like, you need to get back in there and keep your face out in front of people, don't you? Like, realistically. I mean, maybe you don't
More
think...
than that, it's like an internal thing.
Yeah, to get that.
Yeah.
Like when Bisping lost to GSP, he took the Gastelum fight 2 weeks later or something, and just to wash himself out.
Not even that, because I feel like that's like, you've seen like a lot of fighters in the past get in quite a lot of trouble doing that.
Yeah.
Where they're like, I need to get that back, and they try to get it back too quick, when they haven't made the necessary adjustments, or they haven't like recovered properly, and then they end up digging a deeper hole than they were in the first place. So you don't want to end up in that situation. It was purely just because I really wanted to fight.
Yeah.
I really wanted to get back out there. I really wanted to prove to everyone how good I was. So I feel like that was definitely an internal thing. That was not there was no pressure. Like, oh man, I need to. That's just not a good reason to fight. Like, I need to keep my name in the mix. You know, like that.
That might be coming from a media perspective, right?
Yeah, like it helps. It definitely helps. Like you get back in there and jump, like beat an unranked guy and jump up the rankings. Like it's turned out very successful.
Yeah,
but it's definitely not was my main motivator for the fight.
Yeah. Without
you don't have any fives, bro.
Or yellows?
Oh, yellow. Yeah,
I was about to say, fucking hell, mate. You've got half the deck.
Okay, I'm going to clear something out.
Go on.
Carry on.
Without saying this one, what's the worst question MMA media have ever asked you?
Worst question MMA media have ever asked?
How long is it?
Yeah, what happened in that night out?
Yeah, with the OKC.
Be like, I'm not telling you.
Yeah.
You don't get paid for this.
Do you remember what he was referring to? Do you actually remember?
I've got no idea.
Oh, okay,
I've
fair.
honestly got no idea what he was on about. He go down some rabbit holes.
Yeah.
I can change colour if I have all 7.
Well, no, because that's a 5.
Yeah, but if I have like that.
Yes, you can do that.
Well, then there we go.
There you go, son. I feel like you're going to lose this game of Uno, mate. And
We'll see how it goes.
I didn't come over here to embarrass you like that, but... Do you fighters ever actually have opinions on MMA media, or do you just see it as like a necessary evil of the job and you don't really think of us as people, but like, do you just think like, oh, another interview, random cunt, fucking here we go?
Nah.
No?
I think it's quite cool.
Yeah?
I definitely think it's quite cool.
Well, thank you.
Like I never take it for granted. Like you're like come here like genuinely asking me questions you want to know.
Yeah.
For fans that are sitting at home and they genuinely want to know the answers. So I'm like more than happy to sit and answer questions, because I don't feel like it's I don't feel like it takes anything away from that. I said that so like before like Israel got in the UFC and stuff like that, like he would watch, like he'd do an interview and then he would like sit back and watch his interview, and I was just like, whoa, like
that sounds very easy.
That blew my mind, because I was like, I have never in my life thought to do that.
Really?
I was like, no, I feel like if I say what I say and if I say it's dumb, then I said it, so I must have meant it. I just told him, like, never let them like take energy from you, because you're cutting weight and you're tired and you're travelled and that like that.
Especially at his level as well. Like
the amount of media he does is like,
and plus he has something that we don't have in terms of like his appearance and shit like that. That I'm sure is like even heavier than the rest of the stuff.
Yeah, but I say like never let them take like, you shouldn't be putting on a show. Like I should never like sit down here and me be like, I'm putting on a show.
Some guys do that, man.
Yeah, but it's so draining. Like it's very draining. I'm gonna sit here and just be like, until you ask me questions, like, and your questions will wake me up. Yeah. Like you'll spark something. You'll ask a question.
But then you'll get. I mean, like that's fair to like random questions about fucking shopping carts and stuff. But when it's like, so how's this training camp been, oh boy, and stuff like that, I must get like, fucking hell. No. Maybe
there's
not.
the generics, which you know what you're gonna ask, like what you think of your opponent, like how's training camp being. Like these are just the standards you got to tick off the list.
Inside knowledge, that's because they're trying to think of a real question and they're just filling the time. Like, fuck, what do I ask him? That's the truth. Well, actually, some people prepare their questions. I just fucking wing it, but
I feel like that's the best way to go. Like just natural, like make it natural, let it build, and see where it goes.
Yeah. But it's nice that you enjoy it at least, I know, because I feel like when you get to Izzy, Connor, obviously like that sort of level, it must just be like, fuck, I have done this 1,000 times already today, you know. So maybe you're just at a level where it's okay, and in like a couple of years you'll
yeah. Oh man, if you're comparing like me to the like the media that Israel has to do, it's like ridiculous. Like his schedule, I like look at my schedule and look at his schedule, and I'm just like I'm just like shame. It's like, what are you doing? I'm going for a nap. I don't have anything for 5 hours. What are you doing?
It's like, funny, when you emailed me earlier, you were like, oh yeah, we can do it at that time. And I was like, sweet. And
yeah,
then,
we can do it any time in the next 3 days.
Yeah.
So I am up to nothing.
Yeah. And then you didn't reply. I was like, oh, he's having a nap before training. And then I was like, he'll wake up at fucking like 7:30. And then 7:33, I got an email. I was like, called it. I know fighters better than they do. Yeah. When you were at school, you know how when you're at school, there's always like this one massive drama amongst the kids. What was your massive drama at school?
I've always played it pretty cool.
Yeah.
I've always played it pretty cool. I never let. I don't know. It's like a natural thing. You just never let. I just never. If something, it's like, how do you control it? It's like no need to stress about it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or it's just I never make like too
Do
big
you
of
ever
a
get
deal.
mad anxiety? Like most human beings just get crazy anxiety for no reason every now and again.
Nah, we're saying
You're
like,
about to in this Uno game for what it's
you're
worth.
making me. You got me another shot. What do you got? Is
Right.
that me or that's you?
I can't
That's
remember.
Me.
Is that
Nah,
you? Oh,
I
yeah,
put
so-
the blue too.
Oh, okay, sorry, mate. Sorry. I'll do that. I'm trying to get another shot in me. I'm actually.
Oh, you're trying to get me there. You thought you had me, didn't you?
Well, one of us
What is
has.
that one? That means I go again.
Yes, it does. Yeah. I see you got a +2 there as well, mate.
Get
That's-
out of here.
It's
I'm
Vegas.
hanging
I'll
out
look at
here.
your
I'm
fucking
hanging out
cards.
here.
Yeah. Actually, I wouldn't mind another shot, to be honest. I'm a bit thirsty.
Game's moving too slow for you.
But see, that's the thing about the Brits, you know, like other cultures will drink for longer, but we'll drink harder for a shorter amount of time.
Oh, New Zealand and British drinking culture is like pretty much the
Yeah.
same thing. Like you go out, like there's no like, oh, have a couple drinks with
Yeah,
dinner.
no.
It's like, nah, we're drinking.
It's like I'll drink until I can't see anymore, and then I've won because someone else has to look after
Sit
me.
down before you fall down.
Do you remember the first time you ever got completely shit-faced?
Oh, very young. Like with New Zealand drinking culture, like things start.
14,
Things
15?
start- yeah, like 14.
Yeah.
14. Like things start like very early on over there. I wish they didn't. Like
I think I'm about to sound like a right old man now, but I think for lads, it's like something you do and you kind of go through, and then they say you get it out of your system. You don't. I'm 30 and I'm still fucking getting shit faced every weekend. But I feel for the girls, it's like they get put in more vulnerable positions earlier when they maybe aren't confident enough to navigate those situations. It's a bit deep, but do you know what I mean? Like,
oh man, it's that's like terrible to me. I've like, because I have like two older sisters.
Yeah.
I got two older sisters, and I used to be like a doorman in town, and you see
man.
you see it, man, and you see how like predatory
Yeah.
like guys are, because you're sober. Like that, I really stopped once I did like door work. That like really slowed me down, because I was like, man, I don't want to do this. But you're sitting back and you see it, like you see like a girl's like had a bit too much to drink, and then you see guys like, oh, this is like my chance. And I should just walk up, like collar him, and just be like, get out.
Yeah,
like,
it's gross as fuck.
Because I would always imagine like, man, if that was my sister and
Yeah.
no one did anything,
Yeah.
that would drive me crazy. So the amount of guys I've like chucked down the stairs for, I mean,
allegedly. I remember when I was 18, I was in a club at my hometown, and because I was a little piece of shit, what we used to do is we call it minesweeping, and we'd go and just steal someone's drink and drink it without looking.
yeah.
And I fucking stole this girl's drink and downed it, and someone had spiked her drink, and
Oh.
I was all over the shop. I was like, just like slumped over. I always think like the guy who spiked it must have looked at her and been like, "This bitch has the constitution of a rhino," or something like that.
He's
But
like sitting there waiting all night, like.
taxis outside. Yeah. But yeah, it's mad. I don't know. That was a bit deep, but there you go. Anyway, is it my go or your go? Back to Uno.
That's your go.
Yeah. When you guys move to the States, do you think it's Vegas, or do you think it's just anywhere and you guys need to work out prices and stuff like that?
It'll definitely be like, it's definitely up to Eugene. Like a lot of people keep asking me, and I'm just like, it is above my pay grade. Like it's above my pay grade. Like when we go, how we go, like the logistics of it. It's kind of, I bet, Eugene's just trying to find like the right avenue. Like not, because it's not like me and Israel can just come over
Yeah.
and set up shop.
Yeah.
It's like, who are we going to train with? Like, we need training partners. We need this. We need that. So it's got to be like quite a large group of the team that's going to have to make the shift and make the move. And it's got to be like economical enough for those guys to survive. Because guys like Blood Diamond just got signed to the UFC. He hasn't even had like a fight in the UFC. So he's working off savings from like fights on smaller promotions, which is like, I've been there. Yeah, it's like a struggle in those early days. I feel like you had to get like committed to being. That's what happened to me. I just got committed to being poor forever. I was just like I was adamant that I was going to be poor forever. So now that I'm like in a position where I have like money and I still drive like an old car, and I don't buy nice things. I don't buy anything. I really don't buy anything. So people are just like, my wife says it to me. She's like, Dan,
get me a ring.
She's like, you know you're not poor, right? And I'm just like, yeah, but I feel poor. Yeah. I'm not poor, but I still feel very poor.
I think that's better than being poor and feel. Well, maybe not, but I mean, if you're fucking buying shit you can't afford, which I think we've all done that every once in a while, buying watches or whatever. You know what I mean?
I'm stacking them up again. Oh fuck! I was just
no fives or blues.
I was just getting ahead.
Were you? 2 cards.
Wow, that's got to do something. What's that?
You get to pick the colour.
I didn't look at your cards.
I'll tell you.
I wish I did.
I've got green and blue, so do yourself.
Well, then I'm going yellow.
I'm going to beer then. Jesus, I just saw a look at your cards. You got every yellow in the deck.
I didn't shuffle these very well. I'm not going to lie.
Would you gamble much?
I feel like the way I earn money is gambling.
Yeah.
So then to gamble that money that you earned gambling.
Yeah. Were you good at school? Because you're a smart guy.
I'm not bad. Like I passed school. Went through to like 7th form.
Yeah.
Passed that, but was just like not interested in anything.
Yeah.
And then like did like a bunch of different stuff at university. Like I did like a year of business, a year of like property development, and it's just nothing caught my attention that much until I walked into like
until you hit someone on the street and went, this is what I need.
No, like it wasn't until I just really walked into the gym, did like one session, and I was like, looks like this is me.
Yeah.
And then it's like all the other stuff, like the doing like a year
That's
of
an
business
interesting
and stuff.
Disney movie, isn't
It's
it?
like they're all like cover stories.
Yeah.
Because of like back then, like no one from New Zealand was in the UFC.
Yeah.
No one was like making a living from that. So then to like justify that to like the people around you, your aunties, uncles, and what are you doing?
Yeah.
And you're just like, I'm gonna be an MMA fighter, and they're like, oh cool, like how many of those are there in the country? And you're like, oh well, none of them.
Me?
But I'm gonna be the first one.
Yeah.
It would have been like a really hard sell. So then they're like, what are you doing? You're like, I'm studying business. And they leave you alone. So I was just like, whoa, I'll just do this. Like I did labor jobs and stuff. Like I did
construction,
landscaping, construction, like
shit,
all this stuff.
I respect the craft as it.
And then
I hated it.
Yeah, because doing that, like being on a shovel for 8 hours and then going to the gym at night is like very taxing. Once I realized, like, no, I can just sign up for some silly nonsense at university, do average at that, and train full time, and then people leave me alone. I was like, this is a far better avenue.
I feel like people should always do at least one physical job, like physical labor in their life, though. Like, because I work for my dad, so apologies, Dad. But it was fucking brutal. Like, it was so digging in the rain and fucking
tough. Like a human wheelbarrow.
Yeah,
like it's
as they affectionately called me, the site bitch. You know, it was nice. It was a real like warm place to work.
I think like Israel must have worked at like a gas station or something, because Usual pulled that one out of his back pocket every now and then. So fuck off back to the gas station then.
What is that? I tell you what, Eugene once said in an interview with Submission Radio, shout out them boys. He said that if he was a coach and John Jones was like at his gym and did some of the stuff that John Jones did, he was like, we'd drag him out the back and 20 of us would kick the shit out of him.
Yeah, he wouldn't.
Every time I've seen Eugene, he strikes me as someone who wouldn't take shit very lightly. Is he as fierce as like I imagine?
Yeah, they like they like both are like him and Dougie. they both own City Kickboxing, Doug and Eugen. They just have like a strong moral compass because there's not one without the other. Because say a guy in that position, it's not like he's just in that position. There's no one looking up to him. He's in that position. There's like 200 like members and amateurs, and like whatever he does, they're gonna copy it. So if you let him get away with that, then you have to let the other 200-300 get away with that. So you need, as like a head coach, like a pretty strong moral compass, because it's more than fighting. Like having a fight gym is more than fighting. Like you're giving 99.9% of the guys are not gonna become professional UFC stars and make lots of money. Everyone thinks they are, but they're not. So it's like everyone comes to your gym and trains. You know, in the long run, that's like a very slim chance of that happening. Yeah. What you can do is give them direction, give them like a way to go. So I feel like that, over you making them millions of dollars and UFC titles and things like that, having fighters that have like a good moral compass.
Well, plus as well, I'm sure you've seen them like that. Obviously, I'm not a professional fighter, even though I look like one, have the appearance of one. Yeah, no, thanks, mate. But you've been in gyms and you see guys who come in, they do like 3 classes a week, and they think they're like fucking Mike Tyson in his prime, and they walk around like they're just a bit of a cunt, basically. Like if you train one of those guys and you don't rein them in, or you don't like show them that there's a responsibility with being trained, like you can just kick someone out into the world.
It's like a gym culture thing. Like that will only that just wouldn't fly. Like that just wouldn't fly at City Kickboxing. Like
just mad ego.
It wouldn't fly at my gym. You just wouldn't.
I think that might be a New Zealand thing.
You just wouldn't make it through the day. If I'm being honest, like no one will let you walk around like that. Like you're gonna get checked. You know what I mean? And it's like a gym culture, head and shoulders over anything, over the training and programs and coaches you bring in. The culture of your gym needs to like be what you're about, right? There needs to be like a definite cap on the egos that you let run, because you let a couple of egos run wild and they will just derail your gym's culture.
If you can fight any lightweight in the history of the sport, who is it?
It would have to be Khabib.
Yeah,
it would have to be the best. You're like in this to be the best. You're in this to test yourself and challenge yourself. It would have to be the best lightweight of all time.
Yeah. Is there something about that you just think like, well, I've done really well against these people. This guy's apparently so good. I'd really like to just see what happens.
It's like about being the best martial artist. Yeah. Like that's what you signed up to be. Yeah. If I win that title, I want to have known that I didn't win it because someone else was sitting busy, or I got lucky, or coming like last notice. Like if I win that world title, I want to know it's because I earned it.
Will you be one of those champions that like they get the championship and then I'm not saying this is a bad thing, but they look for like the best fights to get them the most money? Or are you going to be one of those champions who's like, I'll just fight everyone who comes next, what do you reckon? I'd say
I try to plan smart shit in my head. Like I'm like, I'm gonna do this, like everyone says it, and then I just get like this burning desire in my soul, which is like, just fight him, just fight him. Because I always tell like my fighters, I always tell like the younger fighters, do as I say, not as I do, because they're just like, well, you fought this guy, or you fought on a week's notice, or you fought. Why can't I do it if you fought it? I'm like, it was dumb.
Yeah,
it was dumb. You shouldn't do that. Like it's stupid.
As evidence.
Yeah, but they're like, but you did it. Yeah. And I'm just like, nah.
Yeah, so you're just making their mistakes for them. You're just learning.
Some of them listen. Most of them just want to do the same mistakes again, and I'm just like, why did I do them if you're just going to do them anyway?
Did you ever, when you were younger, did you ever do something stupid like crash a car or steal a car and crash it or anything like that? Were you ever a wild kid?
Church every Sunday.
You fucking tight motherfucker. You'll give me these details. I'll break you down.
It's going to take more than one shot.
Well, if you won a game...
Yeah, well, if I got 200 cards
I thought we were actually going to breeze through a couple of games. I didn't realise we'd actually just get stuck on the combo.
I said, what did I say? Yellow.
Yeah, I guess so.
It's on you.
Oh, yeah, well, I don't have any.
Get some.
Oh, I don't like that.
What's that one?
Well, it says shuffle hands, which means I think I have to give you my card and reshuffle it. No, you can't. I mean, shuffle them together and we'll split it up half. I'm not taking all. Oh, fine. I'll take all your hands. I'll win this game.
Shuffle hands.
Yeah. So, you think
That looks like
no? That's a shuffle.
that looks like we just.
Well, shall we swap hands then?
But you got a 2 in there. Well, we'll shuffle, mate.
Yeah, go on.
We'll
shuffle.
shuffle.
Well, because
Yeah,
otherwise I was
that's all right.
blatantly just
That's all
putting
right.
the 2 down right away. Is Vegas your sort of town, or are you just not into like big fucking party places like this?
Nah, like one thing that I've definitely learned off like the champs, like Israel and Volk, is just celebrate the wins.
Yeah.
Because I used to, because even if you don't celebrate the wins, like really well, the losses are still just as hard.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so
fair.
then if you're not celebrating the wins and only taking the losses, then it leads for like a very unhappy lifestyle. So man, there's one thing I learned off Volk and Izzy. It's just celebrate the wins, because you need to appreciate it. You need to appreciate it while it's here. So it's good for like a time being. We don't get too wild or too crazy or anything like that.
Would Volkanovski beat Cejudo?
Oh, it's a joke fight.
Yeah.
It's a joke fight. It worked right through him. Like it's not a fair fight. I told him like, get that fight. You know that's the easiest fight in the world.
I kind of respect that he doesn't want to do. Although, like, I feel like Cejudo's.
Oh, he would do it. He just doesn't think it's serious.
Yeah, but well, I
He
think
just doesn't think it.
I
He
think
just
Cejudo just wants some
doesn't.
money, and it's the UFC aren't playing ball as they want to do.
Why? Like he doesn't. He wants like. He doesn't look like in shape to me. He wants like a lot of money to come back.
Yeah.
UFC don't want to pay him a lot of money because he's not like a big draw. So then it's.
I just think at featherweight, like if he'd have stepped up, Aljo just got pulled out with injury, and like they had an interim guy. If he'd have stepped in to fight at bantamweight, I think that'd have been pretty cool. But like when Holloway's there, it's like hard to really. Yeah, I got it. You motherfucker. What color was it? I like how we both like immediately ran.
It was yellow.
Was it yellow?
Yeah.
Okay,
you put that down.
Oh, go on then.
Your little silly shuffle card.
Yeah, well, I just wanted to make things more equal. I'm a good guy.
I have another one.
Okay.
Hold your fire.
Thanks, mate.
I don't reckon you've got any of those.
Well, that's blocking me again, so you get to go again.
Oh, is that me again?
Yeah.
This is turning. This is turning for the best. There you go.
Okay. Well, I mean, that was silly, wasn't it, really? But, I mean...
It was inevitable.
It was, yeah. Alright, on you go. I haven't done as many shots as I thought, but I think that's, like, probably because we had a massive deck with only 2 of us.
Probably the best.
Also true. What are you doing in the morning? Shout Uno. I'm not going to be a dickhead. You're meant to shout Uno when you're on an ass card.
Uno.
There you go. I would have, otherwise you'd have had another shot, but I felt pity on you.
Uno. That's a shot.
There you go.
Actually went quite smooth. Hey.
It wasn't that? That's not too bad, was it? We'll call it a day then, mate.
I was like, it's not going to be 30 shots of Uno.
I know, well, I actually... so smooth. I thought that I might like half the deck to make it go faster, but I'm glad we didn't actually.
That's
It was
good.
like a decent pace, yeah. Good talking to you, mate.